Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Wednesday night here, and a nice cold, very cold weather here in San Antonio. I do not like the cold. I want it to go back to like 50 or 60, but whatever. Yeah, you already know who I am. I'm Drew, and with me, as always, is the man himself.
Justin from Spinebuster Tees, spinebustertees.com.
All right, sounds like my kind of place, Drew. Yeah, you're from Canada, so it's something you're used to, Maurice. How cold is it where you're at, Maurice? But
I would like to say it's like 0 degrees. negative 15.
Yeah, our good friend Mish from Wrestling Soup. It's last I checked, it's negative 14 in Chicago.
No, that's fucking devil dick weather.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to think about that shit. Negative 23, Maurice. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no.
Just do not go outside for any reason, Maurice. Just stay inside, please. That just makes my hands hurt thinking about it. With the wind chill, it's negative 33. Fuck.
I'm good on that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And Kyle's a Midwestern boy too. It's probably negative where he's at. And we got Ruben here. Ruben's a New York boy. I know it's cold over there, but
that weather could kiss my ass, kiss my whole asshole,
kiss my asshole, my dick, my balls, everything. Fuck that. But we'll just stick with our we'll just stick with our 20-degree weather. That's as cold as it's gonna get. But we got a nice little show lined up for you guys. Dynamite just ended. I actually watched Dynamite. I'm assuming Justin watched Dynamite?
Yep.
All right. Do you want to start with Dynamite first, or save it for after the other shows?
Let's let the chat decide. Do y'all want to hear Dynamite review first, or y'all want to go with something else?
Maurice says yes.
Well, all right. Well,
okay, we'll just start with Dynamite first.
Yeah, start with Dynamite. Yeah. So
Dynamite, as usual, every Wednesday. Where was AEW tonight?
I don't know. I saw someone at Texas flag, but I didn't think they were in Texas.
Hold on.
I mean, I don't think it matters, but yeah.
Where was AEW Dynamite tonight? It was in North Charleston, South Carolina.
Definitely not Texas.
So that's RJ's neck of the woods, South Carolina. I wonder if he went. But I'll be honest, a lot of the show I had on in background. It was kind of a very uninteresting show. But I do have the match card up here. So you had Christian Cage and Dustin Rhodes open the show for the TNT title. Two guys in their 50s, still able to go. Can't front. It was pretty impressive seeing them work. Good match, good solid match with two very solid workers. Christian getting the win as usual. Or as we all expected. But what do you think about the opening match?
Good opening match. I mean, to what you said, I can't really add anything more, but it was a very, very good opening match.
All right. Next is you had Penta and Commander versus Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. Regular tag match. Cassidy and Beretta won. As you can imagine, I kind of tuned out of this match, but what'd you think?
I thought it was a very good match. I thought it was one of the best matches of the night.
All right. Mogul Embassy versus Bullet Club Gold. This kind of brought me back in. At the same time, I had a... or was this before? No. Before that. So today is actually the 1-year anniversary of Jay Briscoe passing away. And they celebrated by having Mark come on with his kids, his two girls, which... I got very emotional. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, was that after the tag match?
Yes.
Oh wow! It like the show flew by. I thought it was after the 6-man tag, but okay, yeah.
It was before. Yeah, very emotional moment. I don't know if it was both of his daughters, but I know one of his daughters, she basically has been in physical therapy for over a year, and now she can walk again. So, I don't know. I'm gonna move on because I'm gonna get a little emotional. But it was a nice little emotional moment. Yeah. Seeing that little girl being able to walk again. So good for her. And they played a video package of Jay, and it was good. It was nice.
One of the things that I know we shit on AEW all the time, but stuff like this, like when it comes to unfortunate tragedies and like families, they get it right on that. So I can't shit on them for anything like that.
No, you're definitely right. Yeah, it's been a year. It's crazy. It's crazy to think it's been that long. But moving on, you had the 6-man Ring of Honor tag titles, Mogul Embassy versus Bullet Club Gold. Not a bad match. I actually enjoy this. I do like Bullet Club Gold. I like the Guns. I think the Guns they're really good. They're a team that I kind of wish was a little higher on the card, but that's just me. But and I like Jay White, even though I don't like how he's been booked since coming to AEW. But nonetheless, this team works well together. Mogul Embassy, I'm kind of back and forth on. I'm not the biggest Brian Cage guy. The other two I like because they at least look like something. They have a look and they can work. But this is a pretty solid tag match. What'd you think?
Bishop Khan, former RCW champion too, before he dropped the belt. But it was a fun 6-man tag. The Mogul Embassy, they were 6-man tag champions like forever. They were building up Bishop Khan, being the 6-man tag team champion for over 600 odd days. So, Bullet Club Gold wins, but where do they go from here? Great match. They win the 6-man tag titles. Ring of Honor, not the AEW Trios titles. Where do they go from here? They might as well just unify both 6-man belts, but I don't know. So good for Jay White and the Guns, but like, does this really mean anything at the end of the day? No, not really.
No. Next is you had Anna Jay versus Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo's first match on AEW television since debuting. Second match. She debuted last week, right, or the week before?
She debuted on Collision on Saturday.
Okay. No, I'm talking about like when she made her like actual debut, like debut.
Oh, it was last week.
Okay. She wrestled Anna Jay. This is a match. Like that's the nicest way I can put this. Like Anna Jay is not terrible. She's not offensive, but she's, I guess, serviceable. Is the, I guess, the more polite way to say it.
She can do a wrestling match, but she's not great.
Yeah, she's serviceable. Like you said, she can have a wrestling match, but it is what it is. Deonna won, of course. While that's happening, Toni Storm is on the side, just glaring at her. And again, I like Toni Storm. She's probably the best thing in AEW going right now. And the whole time it switches over to her, it goes to black and white, grainy like picture. I thought that was pretty cool. Afterwards, Purrazzo and Toni Storm get into a little schmoz where Toni hands Mariah May her shoes to throw it at her. But that's going to set up a match sometime later in the line, which I'm assuming is at Revolution.
Revolution, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But overall, what'd you think?
This doesn't showcase what Deonna can actually do with Anna Jay. But if you put her in against, more highly reputable women, then, you're giving away the goods too early, I guess you can say. So, no, I'm not offended by the match whatsoever, and I thought the segment was fine. Toni Storm was, obviously very entertaining on commentary, and I didn't really have any issues with it, but only being the only women's segment of the night, being only like 10-15 minutes long is not a good look. So
If you could have picked anyone else to have Deanna wrestle against, who would you have picked?
As far as tonight's concerned,
Yes.
I mean, shit, man, you could have went with a who's who. I probably maybe someone like maybe a Sheeta.
Okay.
Or or like a Kiara Hogan. She's not that good either. Or Mercedes Martinez, or someone like that. You know what I mean? Someone that's not really being used, a lot right now. Willow, I think it would have been okay too. Even though I didn't want to see Willow like job, but still,
Well, I mean, I think it would have been better to choose someone who's like you said, not being used a lot, but like somebody who's kind of like lower on the card, but a good technician.
I don't know. She may be injured right now. I don't know, but Lady Frost, she was signed from Impact.
Lady Frost.
I don't know.
What happened to Ruby? Ruby Soho.
She's in a storyline right now with Saraya because she has the hots for. Oh, I'm sorry, Ruby has the hots for Angela Parker.
Okay.
and they're playing off with Harley Carmen being a possible serial killer.
That is the most random shit I ever heard of my life.
Because Harley, and Saraya, form a partnership, So Ruby's being like the unknown, how should I say, not necessarily dubious, but she's like, it's being telegraphed right now that Harley and Saraya's gonna turn on Ruby, so it's a story, but it's not a story that I'm really loving.
Right. Next is you had Private Party and Top Flight. How long has it been since Private Party has been in a tag team together?
18. It's been 18 months since they had their last tag team match because Mark Quinn was injured.
And Top Flight.
Well, Darius Martin's been back for a couple months already. They've been doing tag team matches already, like on Rampage and Collision. So, and I think Ring of Honor too.
Right, but they wrestled tonight. A decent match. I can't complain. It didn't really do anything. It wasn't really special, I guess, but it was a match. It happened. People liked it. Wasn't terrible. Didn't do anything offensive or over the top. But Private Party won. I guess to kind of have that. I would say feel good moment. But isn't Private Party aren't they heels?
No.
I could have sworn they were heels. I don't know why.
They were heels with Matt Hardy, but they came out as baby faces. They were slapping hands with the crowd, like they're baby faces. Right. And Isaiah Cassie's been babyface for almost 5-6 months now. So.
Okay. Main event is the AEW World Championship, Samoa Joe versus the FTW Champion Hook. I missed maybe the last 3 minutes of this match because I had to get on here and record. A lot of the match was just Joe beating the shit out of Hook and Hook selling. And that's really it. And then towards the end, they wanted to build up Hook as, this tough kid from the streets of Red Hook, I guess. And I kind of turned off and got on here right around the time when Joe went for a muscle buster and Hook kicked out at 1. So I don't know. Tell me what I missed.
Joe won.
Okay.
I don't know what you want me to say. Joe won.
Did he win with a coquina clutch?
He won with a coquina clutch. Yes.
All right, there you go.
No tap out. Just Hook just passed out.
All right. Did something happen after the match or anything special?
Joe Hook got, like, after the match was over, Hook was getting up, and Samoa Joe kicked him in the nuts and gave him another Muster Buster. Then Hook was getting back up. Then Hangman came for the save, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Then they just show Swerve at the at ringside with Prince Nana. Then let me see. Oh yeah, then Hangman picked up Hook. Hook didn't want any help, and that was pretty much it.
That was Dynamite. What'd you think about Dynamite?
I thoroughly enjoyed the show. A lot better than last week, for sure. There's no real stories going on at all. Like, you know, I mean, well, we did miss. Well, I mean, well, I don't know if you skipped on purpose, but the Young Bucks did an interview with.
I saw
Renee.
that. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like. To me, that was one of the most interesting things that night because, like, they're actually going to play into their, play into the roles as VPs, and, like, you know, and people already don't like them already, so this would give them no reason not to like them. So they're using one thing that people don't like about them. Oh, they're VPs. So you know, I was fine with it. You know what I mean? That was a little bit. To me, that was really like the only thing that was like storyline wise that was interesting for the night. But you know, Samoa Joe Hook, it was a match, but like it didn't like really advance any stories. I guess you could say Swerve and Hangman advanced stories because Hangman was saying, "Oh, I don't think about you, Swerve," and Swerve is obviously thinking about Hangman still for some reason, even though Swerve won the feud or won the last match.
I was about to say, it's just like Swerve's already beaten him twice. Like, why would he care?
You know what I mean? So, well, yeah. I don't know why Swerve still cares, but outside of that, there was really no other like things that were for story. There's really no things for us to come back and watch next week. The rest of tonight was good, very good for the most part. There was not like one match I was like, oh, this match fucking sucks. But AEW always has good wrestling matches. It's just the stories. Where are the stories at? You know. Now, I mean, you possibly got this triple threat for the world title. Okay, cool, but it's not like really anything great. Then you got the Young Bucks, you know, taking this new role of, hey, yeah, we're VPs and yeah, we do have power. So that's interesting. I like that. And I guess Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm. It's not really a story. It's just a feud that's gonna start, but there's no story behind the feud yet. So, you know, I mean, but like I said, I was entertained. I enjoyed the show. It's just nothing that's, you know, that I saw tonight. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to watch next week. Can't wait to see what's going on next. It wasn't that.
Just what did Bully Ray say? It's not booking. It's matchmaking. So.
No, it has nothing to do with matchmaking. It has to do with the booking. The booking, they're not booking storylines. They're not creating storylines.
Exactly. My point exactly. They're not, like you said, they're not booking any. They're not really booking or making any storylines. They're just making matches.
Yeah. They're making matches. Exactly.
And just the Young Bucks thing, again, just they finally had the wherewithal to say, okay, we're dicks. We're not likable people. Let's just play into that. So, okay, they finally did something smart for once. So, good on you, Young Bucks, you fucking cocksuckers. But let's move on to hard. Let's move.
Let's put Drew's most hated wrestlers of 2024 as the Young Bucks.
They have some. I don't know. They're going to be hard to beat. So we'll see who else acts like a cocksucker. But let's move on to Hard to Kill. TNA Hard to Kill was last Saturday. It was in Paradise, Nevada at the Palms Casino Resort. Last I saw, it was damn near sold out.
Yeah.
So good on it. Good on TNA. I did miss the 3 pre-show matches. But did you watch the pre-show matches?
I did not know.
All right, so let's go through them just real quick. You had Steve Macklin. He defeated Rich Swann in a singles match. The System, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers defeated Frankie Kazarian and Eric Young in a tag match. And then Crazy Steve defeated Tommy Dreamer. And a no
I did see that match. I did see that match, yeah.
Ah, nice. And a no disqualification match for the TNA Digital Media Championship. What do you think about that match?
I mean, it was okay. I mean, there was a whole bunch of forks at one point. The spots looked kind of silly, but it was fine. I didn't really like. It wasn't like offensive or anything like that. It was fine. Crazy Steve needed the win anyway, since he turned like ultra bad guy mega heel against Tommy Dreamer. So yeah.
Right. All right. So the first match of the night. This is where I tuned in. Knockouts Ultimate X match to determine the number one contender for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Giselle Shaw, Alicia Edwards, Danny Luna, Jody Threat, Tasha Steelz, and Zaya Brookside. I literally only knew two of these women. I knew Giselle Shaw, obviously, and Zaya Brookside. The other women I wasn't too familiar with. Giselle Shaw.
Alicia Edwards is wife of Eddie Edwards. Okay. Danny Luna used to be on NXT UK. Tasha Steelz has been in.
Well, Tasha Steelz, I know. Tasha Steelz, I do know. I'm sorry, I do know.
Okay. Her. And Jody Threat. She's been on the Indies for years. She's like in her mid 30s now. So, but she finally got her break in Impact. She was on like AEW for like Dark Elevation or some shit like that. So, like that means anything. So,
but I mean, it was a fun match. It was entertaining. It's just like I didn't really know who most of these women were, so it was hard for me to go, "Oh, that was nice. Who was that? Oh, that was nice. Who was that?" So. But Giselle Shaw got the win. From what I've seen from Giselle Shaw, she's pretty good. So can't really knock that too much. But she won. What do you think about the match overall?
It was fun. I kind of get queasy watching a women's Ultimate X.
Right.
And there was a little bit too much of like at one point where I believe Jody Threat was like just was there to pull them down from the cables to do a powerbomb. Right. You know what I mean? So wasn't the greatest match, but it was a fine opener. It was a fine opener. Nothing offensive, but I'm not gonna remember this by the end of the year.
Okay. Next is you had originally it was supposed to be a singles match, PCO versus Dirty Dango. PCO coming out as Frankenstein pretty much, which I thought was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that was an awesome entrance.
PCO, there was a spot where he was supposed to come off the top rope, and then Alpha Bravo from Dirty Dango's side was supposed to, I think, either grab him or push him off. There was miscommunication, and it was a blown spot, so it didn't look very good. Then the referee called disqualification. Rhino came out. Rhino, who still looks the same since he has in 2004, comes out to make the save. Santino Marella, who's the authority figure of TNA, came out and decided to make it a 6-man by adding Jake something, which I still get a kick out of a guy who's like 6'3" or 6'4" and built like a fucking Greek god, and his name is Jake something. But whatever. There's a nice spot where like he runs to the ring because like the entrance is connected to the ring. And he just jumps up and like clotheslines both guys. So I'm like, oh, that was impressive.
Yeah, that was a good spot.
But I mean, Jake something's pretty good. He's very talented. Has a great look. The face has won the match, as you can imagine. But again, it's always good seeing Rhino. But what'd you think about the match?
And Vladimir Kozlov too. I'm surprised you didn't call that out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. He's Oleg Prudius?
Yeah, Prudius. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But no, I mean, this was just more of a showcase match. I mean, you got to think about who was in this match. You got Rhino, who's like 50, I think. PCO, who's like almost 60. You got Vladimir Kozlov, who sucked in WWE.
I mean, he still owns a pinfall victory over the Undertaker. So
yeah, but he doesn't make up his in-ring shit.
He sucked.
But and Fandango. So I wasn't really expecting much out of this match, but I had fun with it. I just learned to have fun with it, and the baby faces won, and it wasn't wasn't regretting watching it, I will say.
Right. I mean, it was basically just a, hey, remember these guys match? So, yeah. Next is you had a tag team match for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. You had MK Ultra, Killer Kelly, and Masha Slamovich versus, which I'm assuming was the returning Decay, which was Havoc and Rosemary. I really like that entrance, where you just see like the TV stack and you just see a hand come up. When I saw it
for Decay,
yeah, for Decay,
yeah. They always had a great presentation. Even like with the original Decay with Rosemary, Crazy Steve, and Abyss. So
I don't know. I like that. That kind of made me pop a little bit. I'm like, ooh, okay. Let's see. I threw my drink when MK Ultra. Okay, I didn't see what RJ wrote, but MK Ultra is really good. This is my first time seeing Masha Slamovich wrestle, and she's very good. She's very good. I'll give her credit. She's actually very good.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's great.
Killer Kelly's really good. And I've always liked Rosemary. Like, I always looked at Rosemary. I'm like, if Triple H had that creative pull that he has now, back in the day, I think he would have been able to bring her in when she was more. I hate to sound I hate to sound rude, but like younger and had more buzz.
Yeah, I mean, she's in her 40s now. I mean,
But again, none of this. I love Rosemary, Jessica Havoc. I've definitely heard the name. I've seen her. She's very good. And Decay won. And there was a nice little spot. I think it was Rosemary who did like the the ring girl like crab walk. I thought that was pretty fun. But good match. Decay won the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. What'd you think?
They put over MK Ultra as these killers, dominant, tag team champions, which they were. But having Havoc and Rosemary win is fine. So, they're very popular as popular baby faces. So, I'm pretty sure this feud is not over though. So,
yeah, can't wait. Next is you had a 3-way match for the TNA X Division Championships. Before the match happened, Scott D'Amore announced that TNA will be teaming up with AAA. So, good for them.
Yeah.
Chris Sabin, who just doesn't age, who looks the same as he did in 2010, defends the TNA X Division Championship against El Hijo del Vikingo, the AAA champion, and Kushida. I actually liked Vikingo in this match. He actually looked good in this match. I'll give him credit for that. I mean, just, kind of a throwback to early X Division shit with these three in this match. It's a lot of good flippy-do stuff. I mean, because you can have good flippy-do stuff, you can have bad flippy-do stuff. This is an example of good flippy-do stuff. I did like the Canadian Destroyer outside of the ring.
Oh, that was really nice.
Because a Canadian Destroyer can look good or it can look preposterous. I mean, I think overall Canadian Destroyer can be preposterous, but it depends on who's doing it. That looked really fucking good. So, I can't front. That looked really cool. Chris Sabin got the win. Good for him. But what'd you think about the match?
All three look great. Kushida showed why he did so good in NXT, and obviously he's a New Japan, junior heavyweight legend. Chris Sabin shows, to your point, he doesn't age, and Vikingo, he's fucking Vikingo, showing why that, why he's one of the best high flyers in the world going on today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, all three did pretty well in this match. It was one of my favorite matches of the night for sure.
All right. Next was my favorite match. Josh Alexander versus Alex Hammerstone. Just, again, like Wade Barrett would say, this was two big meaty men bumping meat or slapping meat. Josh
Alexander a meaty man.
I think you can kind of validate he's a meaty man. Maybe not a fat man, but he definitely has some meat on him.
No, he's not. He's not ripped.
I mean, this chat. What do you think? Does this match constitute a meaty match? A big two meaty men bumping meat?
Half of that is if you're saying 75% is Hammerstone and the other 25% is Alexander, fine, but yeah, no, Alexander's not meaty at all.
Nonetheless, this is a 2 match with 2 men that look like men that can beat the shit out of each other. That can beat the RJ says it's a Titan match. Okay, Titan match. There you go. 2 Titans out there just beating the ever-living piss out of each other. Hammerstone is still a free agent at the moment. His contract, what do you call it? His contract expired at the beginning of the year. Alexander is the TNA guy. I think he's Scott D'Amore's favorite because they did the Team Canada thing together. So you kind of figured Alexander was going to go over, but this is still a really good match. This is the kind of match I think Hammerstone needs. He needs a match with a guy who kind of like matches him. I think Alexander is kind of like a, how do I put it? Not necessarily a Kurt Angle.
He has some tendencies of them, but not exactly the same. Yeah.
I would say like a mix. I would say like a healthy mix of Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll put it that way. And Hammerstone is like just a genetic freak. Like he's a mini Hulk Hogan, but he can move around better.
I mean, if I'm TNA, man, I'll do everything I can to sign him.
I was telling Ruben that the other day. Like I really think, if not go to WWE, go to Impact or TNA. I mean, like he should definitely go to TNA. I think that would benefit him greatly, and also TNA as well, since they're kind of starting over essentially. But I did really fucking love that pendulum swing move. That was gnarly.
It's kind of like Matt Morgan's Elevator.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
I just remembered that in his theme song. But this is my favorite match of the night. I love these two. And what else can I say? Next is you had a 4-way tag team match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. You had the ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, the Rascals, Laredo Kid and Mike Bailey, and then the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Grizzled Young Veterans.
Soon to be the TNA Tag Champions.
Well, they weren't that.
But not tonight. This is a fun match. I was kind of tuning out, not because the match was bad per se. I don't know. I just kind of felt that final hour. I don't know how to put it, but the match wasn't necessarily bad. I was just kind of tuning out a little bit, and also the last match I think was just a lot for me personally. But this is a fun match. I don't have anything against either of the teams here. I think Chris Bay is really good. Ace Austin, I don't really have too much to say about. The Rascals, I like. Again, I'm pro Zachary Wentz. I like seeing him be successful. Mike Bailey, I haven't seen too much of him, but he's really good. And then the Grizzled Young Veterans, they're a serviceable team. They're a team that you'd be lucky to have in your company. But this is a fun match. I can't really complain too much. ABC won. What'd you think?
ABC is one of the best tag teams in the world.
Okay.
They're not on the lead. They're not on the level of FTR going full time or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I feel that like the Creed brothers are up there too as well. I feel about the Creeds. But man, like if you tell me like, hey man, ABC is the best tag team in the world, I'll kind of look at you a little funny, but like, okay, yeah, I guess. Like they're fucking great. They're fucking great. Chris Bay's amazing. Ace Austin's been amazing as well. Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, fucking amazing. Laredo Kid's always been very good. Speedball Mike Bailey, that's, obviously that's one guy I've been mentioning for a while that he's very underrated, and I don't think he gets enough credit, what he does in the ring. And the Grizzled Young Veterans, another fucking great tag team. So sad that it didn't work out with WWE, but is what it is. But I thought this was a fun match. Very fun overall, and the right team won. ABC is like the cornerstone, I think, of TNA right now.
Right. I kind of
I won't say they're the heart and soul, but they're definitely one of the cornerstones for sure.
I kind of figured they'd hold on to it because, like, if you look at the whole night, like everybody lost their titles except for, the tag champs. And like they had shown like I guess like a package before the match where like I think they had just won the tag titles not too long ago. So I'm like, okay, they're not just going to have them lose tonight. So not everyone's going to lose their titles. But next was another really good match. Singles match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Jordynne Grace versus the champion Trinity. Jordynne Grace was cashing in her Call Your Shot championship thing. Jordynne Grace looking smaller. She's off the sauce, I guess. But
yeah, when I saw her at Branded Outlaw a couple weeks ago, yeah, she looked very slim. So,
which good. I've said a lot of shit about Jordynne Grace, but she actually had a really good match tonight. When she's out there, when given the right opponent, she'll have a really good match. So I'll give her credit for that. This is a really good match. Trinity essentially doing the honors on her way out before she comes back to WWE. What is it? Actually, next Saturday. Jesus Christ, the Rumble's next Saturday. But very good match between these two. Trinity has really improved since leaving and pretty much going out and getting better. Again, Jordan can work. And if I'm not a fan of someone personally, if they can do something good in the ring, I'll give them credit for that. So Jordan had a really good match. This is probably my second favorite match of the night. And Jordan is the new TNA Knockouts champion. What'd you think?
Very good women's match. Again, it just shows you on why a lot of people think that TNA has the best women's division in pro wrestling. I don't personally believe that. But they definitely do have that type of talent down there. And, Trinity, she's going to come back to WWE and, and obviously, her friends were there too, Mercedes and Bailey cheering her on. So that was pretty cool to see too as well on social media. Pretty cool to see Mercedes and Bailey taking pictures with Jordynne Grace and women supporting women. It's always cool to see. Nice. I just wish that most wrestling fans out there just doesn't make it, one company versus another out there. Because people out there, WWE sucks. TNA's like, stop it. Just stop it. Just enjoy it. All right. But yeah, match was good. I really liked it.
And then the debut of Ash by Elegance, the formerly known Dana Brooke. Yeah. Can't add too much.
I'm fine with it. I mean, what was one of the things that that I said at least, when the releases happen, like I said that I really hope that she, finds herself. I really hope she finds something that that she will like to do, and I hope she gets better at it. And we mentioned Impact as far as one of those lanes, TNA. Let's see what she does. I'm not gonna shit on it. I'm not gonna poo-poo on it. I'm gonna see what she does now. If she ends up not being well, she's the same exact way as she was in WWE NXT. Sure, and I was probably one of her biggest detractors in NXT. But yeah, I'm not gonna poo-poo on it if she's getting any fresh new start. If she improves, I'm gonna give her her praises.
Yeah, same. If she can do something good, I'll give her praise. That's keep it as simple as that. Main event time. Singles match for the TNA World Championship. Moose versus Alex Shelley, the TNA champion. This was Moose's Feast or Fire World title match. This match was long. This match felt very long. It was only 21 minutes and 45 seconds. It probably could have been shorter. Maybe like 3 or 4 minutes shorter. I don't think it needed to be that long, but I digress. Alex Shelley, kind of like his tag team partner Chris Sabin, hasn't really aged. Still kind of looks the same way he did back in 2010. And then Moose has a look. He kind of, I guess if you're kind of rebranding, essentially, you're going to want to pick someone who actually looks like a wrestler. So, or looks like something at least. So Moose ended up winning. He's the new TNA World Champion. After the match, you had the debut of Nick Nemeth, formerly known Dolph Ziggler, which I was happy because I like Dolph. I like seeing Dolph in TNA. I think that's probably a better choice. Monty's favorite wrestler. And then he did a zigzag to Moose, and he tore off his shirt and revealed a TNA Wrestling logo. So now Nick Nemeth is officially in TNA. What'd you think about the match and Dolph debuting?
Fine match. Was it long? Yes, but I still think it was a damn good main event. Moose is one of the most underrated wrestlers in wrestling right now. Since he doesn't really get that much exposure since he is in TNA, but hopefully now with this new rebranding, more people will see like, oh man, Moose is actually pretty good. Guy's fucking shredded as shit. Alex Shelley, like, I love Alex Shelley. I just never got why he was the world champion. I mean, I understood why they put it on him, but like, I didn't think that title reign needed to be as long as it was. But such is life. But after that, Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler debut, perfect spot for Ziggler. Perfect spot for him being in TNA and working New Japan as well. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win for him, and he will be the TNA champion by summertime. Like, there's no way he'll be TNA champion by summertime. I think Moose is really just a transitional champion. It is what it is, but yeah, no, I was fairly satisfied at the end of the show. I will say that.
Yeah, same. But what's your overall grade for Hard to Kill?
7.5 out of 10. I thought it was fairly entertaining. There was nothing on the show I was like, oh man, this fucking sucks. Like, what the fuck they're doing? All the matches were booked fine. All the match lengths were okay, except for the main event. Maybe could have been a little bit shorter. Yeah, I don't think you need to go 22 minutes, however long it went. A little bit under 20. I think it could have been fine. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fairly good show. Nothing stood out as far as like match of the year contenders or anything like that. But nothing stood out as like, oh, this shit sucks. So yeah, I was fairly entertained for it.
Yeah, I gave it the same grade, 7.5 out of 10. So I guess like a C+.
Commentary was good too.
Commentary was good.
Two former WWE guys. They know what the fuck they're doing. So
who was it? It was Tom. What's his name? Tom
Phillips and Aiden English.
I love those two. There was some editing and audio problems with the show in the beginning that they ended up fixing. Like there was like some, like there'd be a spot where like they would like segue to another segment or to like an interview, and it would take them maybe 7-10 seconds longer than they're supposed to. So I mean, I didn't hold that against them, but it happened in the beginning of the show, and it got better towards the end. And there's just stuff that kind of looked a little amateurish, but I think they can fix it. But yeah, 7.5. Again, like you said, good show. Not great. Not anything that you'll say, oh, I'll remember that. Except maybe like Dolph coming back. But other than that, or debuting, I mean. But other than that, good show. Makes me excited for the future of TNA. Just to kind of see where they can go. It's intriguing at the fact that now we have possibly 3 big companies in wrestling. No one's ever going to catch up to WWE. I think I think people already know that.
It's just, I mean, again, I said this already. A lot of people end up watching this pay-per-view because of the new name TNA.
Right.
Like, and that's fine. But realistically, they've been doing this for the last couple of years. So the company, so the quality of the company hasn't really changed. It's just the name that's changed, and people are finally seeing, oh, Impact TNA wasn't so bad after all. They do put on good stuff. Now, I don't know, we're not going to come on here every week and talk about it, I'm pretty sure. But we're going to be aware of it. We're going to be aware of what's going on. We're probably going to be aware who's going to be champions and all that shit, and, and try to keep up with some of the people that we like, which is totally fine. but it's the same company. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying, as far as like, because it's true. It's just the same. It's the same company as it was from before.
It's a new hat.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a new hat, new sweater, whatever you want to call it.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Lisa makes her own Malibu Stacy, and then the company ends up just putting out another Malibu Stacy with a new hat.
Right.
And she's like, but it's just the same Malibu Stacy with a new hat. It's a new hat! But I don't know. I have faith. I have faith in TNA. I want to see what they can do. I'm interested in you're right. You're not wrong, where it's like, it's kind of the same company, but they're just going back to TNA. But but again, I'm happy for the future. And I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the shows to see what goes on. But I am happy for the future. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was hard to kill. Let's go over the shows real quick. SmackDown was last Friday. A lot of the show was really centered around the Bloodline minus Roman coming out to fuck up a tag match, or not a tag match, but a singles match that occurred earlier. That was supposed to be between Cameron Grimes and Grayson Waller, and basically just doing the whole, we're gonna keep fucking up your show until you fix the Fatal 4-Way match at Rumble. Nick Aldis comes out and tells them, I'm going to put you guys in a 6-man tag match. It's going to be the Bloodline versus Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight. Paul Heyman said, Roman's not here. And then Nick Aldis says, well, you have all night to find a tag team partner. Which I guess we can kind of skip towards the main event. So a lot of it was, I guess, build up to try and find a new tag partner. And they kind of made it seem like they were going to find somebody on the outside, or I don't know, or maybe that's the impression that they're either giving us or we were giving ourselves. But in the end, they just took out Randy Orton for a big chunk of the match, and it was a 2-on-2 tag match. And then Orton came out, and the faces won the match, and they did the Shield triple powerbomb to Uso, or not Uso, Solo, on the table. And then Orton says, screw that big son of a bitch. So that was kind of funny, but that was pretty much a big chunk of the show. There was also Carmelo Hayes, who kind of looks like he's going to be debuting on the main roster, sooner rather than later.
He already debuted, but I think he'll be called up officially. Yeah.
Yeah. He wrestles against Austin Theory, which for the most part was actually a pretty good match. It was good back and forth action until they go for the Spanish Fly.
It was a springboard sit down Spanish Fly,
which went wrong, and both men landed on their necks. I looked like Austin maybe got the worst of it, and they immediately stopped the match. So as of now, both men are fine. Carmelo Hayes was on NXT last night, so he's fine. From what I heard, Austin Theory's fine as well. But again, that was a rough spot to watch, especially since it was a match that so far was actually a pretty good match. Just an unfortunate ending to a really good match. But what did you think about that match and the spot?
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't see SmackDown on Friday. Okay. I was at TWA.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, that happened.
It's on the spot, but I didn't see the match.
Yeah, but it was an unfortunate spot. But luckily, both men are okay. The rest of SmackDown was decent, I guess. You had Bayley and Bianca Belair. Bianca got the win, and they're still kind of playing up to Bayley eventually being kicked out of Damage Control. And then it brings up some intrigue because now you have, Trinity possibly coming back, which that looks like it's a done deal, essentially. And maybe even Sasha coming back. And you can do like a 6-on-6 at Mania. So, who knows?
6-on-6?
Yeah, Bayley, Bayley, Sasha, and Trinity versus Io, Asuka, and what the fuck's her name?
Kyrie?
Kyrie, there you go.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't want to do a six woman tag. Not Mania.
Why not?
Okay, like why won't you have a women's championship match at Mania?
Yeah, good point. I mean, Dakota doesn't have to wrestle. You can just put Dakota. I mean, not Dakota. Io doesn't have to wrestle in the match. You can just put Dakota in the spot.
Okay, then who wrestles Io?
Bianca?
Nah, I don't want to see that.
I don't know.
It'll be a great match, but it has to be storyline wise. It has to be or someone like Bayley or maybe Trinity returning. You know what I mean?
Bayley would make more sense because I love Bayley, and also people love Bayley too. I think they don't. I think they're tired of her being a heel, so just make her a babyface again because people still cheer for Bayley, and they like to cover it up with her being a heel and saying no, fuck you, don't cheer for me. So just have her win the Rumble and just have her be a face. So why the fuck not? I'm trying to think of what else happened on the show that was of interest. Hold on, because Bleacher Report ain't giving me shit. Okay, yeah, Bleacher Report doesn't have shit. But SmackDown for the most part was a bloodline-centric show, which is kind of the huge. And I'm digging Nick Aldis as the as kind of the bully general manager. Whether it be heels or faces, he doesn't give a fuck. He always puts them in their places. So love that. We haven't had that in a while. But that was SmackDown. Let's go to Raw. Let's go to WWE Raw. Cody kicks off the show, basically talk about the Rumble. Drew McIntyre comes out, and I don't know, back to back weeks of Drew McIntyre having really good promos. They made Drew interesting. He's not doing the whiny, angry thing. Like, he's saying things that are true, and that's what's making him such a very captivating, interesting heel. And I don't know. What did you think about this promo? Did you watch it?
Yeah, it was great. It's a good promo. Good back and forth. Basically, they all both have mega points in the promo itself. But yeah, I thought it was good for what it was.
Yeah, Cody telling Drew, "I'm thankful for my second chances, and you're just complaining about yours."
Right.
And then says, "You keep talking about this last match we had. Who won?" And that was like in ICW, right?
Right.
Okay. So, yeah, Drew. In your opinion, like, what do you think is making Drew like more interesting than he's ever been?
That he's not coming out there hugging babies and kissing fat girls.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Next, DIY versus Judgment Day. DIY got the win. I'm not liking how they're kind of cooling off Dom. Because he had that big, he had that title reign, with the North American Championship, and now he's becoming kind of a flunky along with JD.
Isn't that his gimmick?
Right, but as of late, or I guess for like the past few months before the end of the year, they were treating him more as like a serious wrestler.
I get you.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable with that. I don't know. But yeah, the R-Truth stuff, it's working. It's getting over. I mean, R-Truth was selling, Judgment Day merchandise, and he was making money, and then he gave Damian his cut, and then Damian ended up giving the rest of Judgment Day their cut. So, and then R-Truth showing up in the Judgment Day graphic in the entrance. I think it's fucking funny. It's more funny than it should be. But how do you feel about the R-Truth Judgment Day shtick?
Too comedic for what's supposed to be a serious stable. Love R-Truth, but I think the bigger storyline is R-Truth is going to get Damian kicked out of Judgment Day, pretty much. But
because Damian's sticking up for him, He's the only one that's sticking up for him. So, Gunther returned with Kaiser, basically telling Kaiser, "I knew you had it in you." And then Xavier Woods comes out and wants revenge for Kofi. So then Kofi and Xavier have a match. I get they didn't want to make Xavier look like a job guy in this match, and Xavier's whole thing was, I saw what you did last week, so I studied it. So he wasn't about to fall for the same shit of getting a chair thrown at him. But I don't know. Like last week, you made Kaiser interesting, and then this week you had him running away like a little bitch against Xavier Woods. If it was like Big E, I would have understood, but Xavier, I don't know. I would have liked if Kaiser just beat the ever-living piss out of him and continued this, mean streak of him. But I don't know. And then afterwards, you had Xavier, in the back, and then Kaiser attacks him, and then Jey Uso breaks it up, and I guess that's the gateway into Jey versus Gunther. But overall, what do you think about everything?
Fine. I mean, they're making Kaiser more of a serious threat, I think, as far as like a singles competitor now. And Xavier, we see a different side to Xavier. Him not, wanting to, smile and blow the not the trumpet, but the what the fuck you call it? The trombone. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Blowing the trombone and all that shit. So it's good to see a serious side of Xavier, and I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine for what they did.
And correction, it's not Dominic Mysterio. It's Tom and Nick Mysterio.
Oh yes, of course.
I don't know why that
yeah, he almost broke. He almost broke Damien too.
That made me laugh more than it should have. Next is you had a in-ring promo with Rhea Ripley and Becky, basically kind of telling you what that this is going to be a match at WrestleMania. Good stuff. Becky kind of going in an opposite direction and saying, no one wants you to win the Royal Rumble more than me. See you at WrestleMania. Or Ripley telling Becky that. I'm sorry. And then Becky saying, you're better than me. It was a pretty passionate promo. Like Becky. She gets a lot of unwarranted shit from a lot of people, and I think that comes from her being with Seth. She's not doing the weird, cringy, heel gimmick anymore. She's back to being the man, and everyone likes her as the man. So I don't know. I always like Becky. I think she gets a lot of flack from a lot of people, and I don't know why. But she cut a really good promo, and this is all but confirmed a WrestleMania match. But and then of course,
I just hate how they telegraphed it too early.
What do you mean?
I'll see you at WrestleMania. So basically, they're saying either Becky's winning the Rumble. If she's not winning the Rumble, then she's gonna win the women's elimination chamber.
Right. I thought that was a little shoehorned in. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like now it's it didn't take a rocket scientist for us to figure that is possibly going to be the women's WrestleMania match for Raw. But them telegraphing on TV at the same time is kind of like, yeah, just they could just held back on that a little bit, I think.
Right. I mean, you could have random stare downs in the backstage. You know what I mean? You can have Becky bump into Rhea and they're just like, "Hey, champ." Like, do that. But I mean, good promo. But like you said, they kind of telegraphed it too early because it kind of made you go, "Okay, well, we already know what that match is." So, the rest of the night there was a lot of filler. And then we get to the main event. Yeah, the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins versus Jinder Mahal. Decent match. It was very predictable. You kind of knew where it was going to go. When you give Jinder a good opponent, he's going to have a good match. That's pretty much, how it's going to be. I thought the ending was very rushed because, Raw doesn't get any overrun anymore. They have to end exactly at 9 so they can show that Bar Mayhem show, whatever the fuck it's called. So Seth just did the curb stomp 1, 2, 3, and then they showed the graphic, and that's it. So, but I don't know. It was just funny seeing people honestly thinking that Jinder was going to win.
Yeah, I don't know who those people were, but you clearly don't watch wrestling if you think Jinder Mahal had a chance winning that match.
But what'd you think about the match?
I'm just glad it's over.
All right, my sentiments exactly.
I'm just glad it's over. It wasn't a bad match or anything like that, but I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah, you and me both. Now let's go on to NXT. The show opens with a Dusty Classic tournament match. Trick and Mellow Gang, or just Trick Mellow Gang, versus Idris Enofe and Malik Blade. Fantastic match between these two teams. I like both teams. I really like Enofe and Blade. I kind of wish they would maybe be featured higher on the card or get more prominent spots, but this is probably the highest they'll get.
Probably this year. I think probably this year they're probably gonna take that next step. I think.
I hope so. They're really good. And then of course Trick and Mellow Gang are just great. So still continuing the storyline of who did it. You know, who attacked Trick, which I don't know if it's just me. I don't know how you feel. I'm kind of getting impatient.
I think they basically dropped that story.
Yeah,
as far as like who attacked him. You know what I mean?
Right, because I'm getting a little impatient because I'm like, okay, you could have just told us who did it already. Because first they really made it seem like it was Alexis King, and then they dropped it, and then they kind of assumed that maybe Mello had something to do with it. And like you said, they kind of dropped it, but they're still kind of continuing it.
Well, I mean, it's Mello, but
yeah, Mello. Where like Mello.
I mean, it is Mello.
Well,
we're waiting for the heel turn pretty much at this point.
Yeah, we're like Mello's getting jealous of the opportunities that Trick is getting. So I'm like, okay, shit or get off the pot. Like, do something already. But nonetheless, good match. Really good match. Trick and Mello Gang got the win. Afterwards, in the backstage, you had Ilya come back and tell Trick, you know, I owe you a title match because I got attacked. Or, not attacked, but he got taken out by Rich Holland. So, this title match is yours. You earned it. So then Trick takes it, and then Mello goes, what about our tag match? And then he ends up coming back and says, listen, I'm sorry about that, but I figured out a solution. I'll just work both matches. So we'll be Dusty Cup winners and tag team champions, and I'll be...
But you're being very selfish, I think. I mean, very selfish. He
Okay.
thought about himself before the tag match.
All right, so let me ask you something, because you kind of brought that up, and it's very interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. So do you think they're going to do a swerve with this?
Nah. I mean, they're gonna have Mello attack Trick, but under Mello's eyes, it's like, well, you know, like when we were a team. Like, I thought about you, you thought about me, you know, we both help each other. But once you got on your singles run, you just started thinking about yourself only. You stop thinking about, you know, Mello. So, Mello has a beef, a point to prove with that. And, but yeah, he's turning on, Trick.
Yeah, it's just like he can be like, you know, I went to SmackDown, I worked my ass off, and I almost broke my neck. And you're out here taking opportunities. You're not thinking about me. What about me? What about me? What about Mello? Like, you can do that. So, but, yeah, just shit our guy off the pot. Do something already. Let's see. What happened next? You had Obafemi come out and address the NXT crowd. I guess the first time as the North American champion, wearing his Dave Bautista white turtleneck, looking like a champion.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, doing his best M'Baku impression from Black Panther. Because like when he's talking, you just hear the crowd going, "What? What? What?" So. I mean, I'm not making fun of it. I thought it was pretty cool. So I like Obafemi. He looks like a world champion. He's going to be a star. And then Dragon Lee coming out and saying, you know, I want a rematch. And then Oba just going, no, The open challenge ends tonight. So, and then when Dragon Lee says, I deserve my rematch at Vengeance Day, Noba goes, I will consider it.
Right.
So, but what'd you think?
That was fine. I mean, I like Oba. I still think it's a little too soon for him to. I mean, he only had like 6-7 matches, on TV, so it's like, kind of rushed. But it seems like they're gonna be turning him into a heel. They turn him into like a monster, unstoppable heel. I'm here for that at least. So yeah. So hopefully, he succeeds in that.
Right. Next is you had a tag match with Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley versus Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. It was kind of a funny backstage segment where Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez are walking in the back, and all of a sudden Tatum Paxley is just conveniently behind a blind and opens up and saying, no one touches my champion, while she's holding a black feather. And then in the tag match, she comes out dressed as Lyra Valkyria. So still doing the stalker gimmick, a la Mickey James and Trish. I like Tatum. I'm glad they're using her in a more prominent spotlight. Kind of want her to lean into the psycho stalker gimmick a little more, but overall I'm enjoying it. And of course, Lyra and Paxley got the win. It was a decent tag match, but what'd you think?
I think I love Lyra. But Lyra overacts a little bit too much still. There's a little bit too much overacting, but outside that, I mean, know how I feel about Lyra.
Right.
The future for WWE and for women in WWE. Tam Paxley, great role, wearing the same exact attire as Lyra. And, yeah. I mean, the guy's point across for that match, so.
Next, you had Ridge Holland versus Joe Coffey. Ridge Holland coming out with his old NXT theme. Okay match. Holland got the win. Afterwards, Gallows beat the shit out of Holland. And them just playing up to the fact that no one's out here to save you. You don't have any friends because you injured a lot of people, which I thought was pretty smart. Especially when the camera was panning to the entrance of them, just like, who's coming out to help you? Nobody. So, thoughts on that before we move on?
It was a match.
Okay. And then backstage, you had a segment with JBL and Josh Briggs. And JBL basically telling, Josh Briggs, become your own man and not just try to follow in his footsteps. So, again, like Josh Briggs, I'm interested to see how his new singles run turns out. Dusty Classic, LWO with Zelina Vega versus Chase U, which was Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne. I was really hoping for Chase U to get the win, but they're still playing up to Chase U is getting fucked with, and JC Jane has to be the one to kind of bail him out. How she does that, we'll have to find out.
Well, before we continue, they're making JC Jane gay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, just a little bit out there.
How are they making her gay?
I mean, she's not gay. She's not gay in real life.
But wait, how are they making her gay?
You didn't see the promo, the backstage stuff, like the NXT Anonymous, where she was like talking to like one random student. She was like, "Hey, you want to go out for a drink sometime?" And hey, I'll get your number and all that.
I didn't really get the impression that she was being gay or hitting on her.
I did.
You
can ask the chat. JC was hitting on her.
Maybe she's trying to run her own brothel. I don't fucking know, but I get the impression that she was gay.
I don't know. She's like, you want to go out some, like, the way it was worded, the way it was presented. I mean, JC's a little bi. Nothing wrong with that.
She's dating a wrestler. His name is, I think, Trevor Hollywood or Trey Hollywood.
Yeah.
So, hey, good for her.
I guess. I mean, I don't know who she's dating for sure, but I don't know. But
I thought you knew. I thought you knew everybody, Justin.
Huh?
I thought you knew everybody, Justin.
No, I mean, I don't try to get into too many people's personal lives. Like I see her with the guy. I'm like, okay, cool, but like I don't try to like investigate it.
Yeah. But yeah, the match happened. LWO won. Again, would have liked if Chase won the match, but that's just me.
Riley Osborne is really fucking good. He's
He's
really
good.
fucking good.
Very good.
He's like as good as, I won't say exactly like, but like he has the athleticism as like a young AJ Styles from like 2002, but with more charisma.
Okay.
Not exactly the same, obviously, but I'm not saying he was a better wrestler than AJ, but he definitely has more charisma than AJ at this, versus what AJ had in 2002.
Sure. And then Duke Hudson has just really improved over the past like year and a half, so good on him. Backstage segment with Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin basically being the buddy cops, which I thought was kind of funny. Earlier segment, you had Trey Bearhill with Eddie Thorpe, where he gave him props for the match that Dijak and Thorpe had a few weeks ago.
All that? Didn't I call Trey Bearhill and Eddie Thorpe? They're going to be a tag team.
Oh no,
they're both Native American.
Oh no, I wanted to be a tag team. That's what I was kind of thinking. I'm like, because I guess we'll kind of get into the match, because I thought Trey Bearhill had a really good match. Again, nothing too crazy, but I thought he had a good match. But I'd rather him be in a tag team, especially with Thorpe. And again, they're both Native American. Just it's right there. So just have him be a tag team. But earlier in the night, Trey was giving Thorpe his props, and then Dijak came in to talk a little bit of shit. And then Trey challenged him to a match. They had a match. During that, Joe Gacy came out and was randomly on commentary. So, whatever. And I was a little worried because I was thinking, okay, they're going to put over Trey over Dijak, but because there's a spot where Gacy headbutted him, and Dijak's trying to sell it that he got headbutted, but he ends up winning in the end. And then him and Gacy fight outside of the ring. After which, you had Lexus King come out to take out Trey Bearhill and basically just say, we're not done yet, you cost me my match. Which I'm assuming this is going to involve Eddie Thorpe somehow, which I'm fine with. So, I like Eddie Thorpe, and I like Lexus King. So, but yeah, what'd you think about this showing by Bearhill?
It was alright.
Okay.
It was alright. It wasn't bad.
Before we get to the main event, I'm going to get to your favorite segment of the night. I'm pretty sure you know what that is.
Oh, God. Segment of the year already.
Von Wagner. Von Wagner's in the back talking to his boy Robert Stone, which brings in, I guess, two members of Metaphor who just happen to be in the same locker room, and then Von Wagner saying, hey, I want to challenge you for that trophy. And Noam Dar and his like very thick, what is he, Scottish or Irish?
Scottish.
Because he's trying to explain the rules of the Heritage Cup, and he's like, when he says 6, he says sex minutes, and he's trying to explain the rules to him in the math, and the whole time Von's just like, oh, so there's 3 matches with 6 segments or whatever, and like you can just see Noam Dar just getting annoyed and walking away. And then Von just says, you know what, Mr. Stone, I think this year Braun should get gold. So
amazing. It was fucking fantastic.
Awesome. 10 out of 10.
Fuck that. Ain't no fucking 20 out of 10. What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, fine. 25 out of 10. I'll give it that.
Oh, that's even better.
Number 1 contender battle royal for the women's championship. News coming out of here: Cora Jade tore her ACL at a house show recently, so she'll be out for 9 months, maybe even longer. So sucks for her. Sucks when anyone gets that kind of injury.
Yeah, I mean, she just came back, and it seems like she was going to get her push, and she just came back from an injury too as well. And God, man, just can't help but feel for her, man.
I do feel bad because, like, again, I'm not the biggest Cora fan, but I don't hate her. I don't have anything against her. I mean, she seems like a sweet girl. And then the stuff with CM Punk I thought was very heartwarming. So yeah, and like you said, she just came back and it looked like she was going to get a title match. So it looked like this Battle Royal was kind of designed for her to win it. But she's out, so speedy recovery. You know who took her place was Maddie Renkowski, local girl, who's now Ren Sinclair. Which I'm like, why not just be Maddie Sinclair? But whatever. She did great.
It's all fucking, copyright shit.
I don't know, but she did great. She had a great showing in this Battle Royal. I think she was like one of the final 6 or 7, which I was surprised by. I'm like, yeah, good for Maddie. They have faith in her. During the match, Carmen and Lalo turned on Carmen. Not Carmen. Elektra, there you go. I was going to say Carmen Electra. Elektra Lopez. So now Lola no longer needs Elektra. So they turned on each other. And then...
Which I think is a bad decision, but whatever.
And then the Final Four, since the rules of the Battle Royal are once you get down to the Final Four, it becomes a fatal 4-way. Comes down to Roxanne Perez, Kalani Jordan, Fallon Henley, and Kiana James. There you go. Which I was thinking Henley, but I'm like, okay, Henley might be a little bit too rushed. I think they want to wait for Henley to really get over and deserve that spot. So then I was thinking James. So you have a nice heel versus babyface match. They really like Kalani as much as I like her, but I doubt they're going to give her a title match right off the bat. So they give it to Roxanne, which I'm not really poo-pooing over it. I'm just a little confused because I'm like, Roxanne hasn't really had any momentum as of late. But I don't know. What do you think?
I'm with it. It's gonna be two great in-ring women's wrestlers going up against each other. I have no issues with it.
No, I don't really have any issues with it, like, in general. Like, I'm not saying I hate it or fuck this match. I was more just like, I wasn't really expecting her to win, but, it'll be a good match.
Fine.
It'll be a good match regardless, because Roxanne is being more aggressive. She's not doing the happy, smiley, babyface shtick that she was before, so, good on her. But that was NXT. I haven't seen any NXT ratings. I don't know if anyone has those yet, but we'll go.
They should have came out earlier today at 3 p.m.
Yes, they usually come out pretty early. But the rating.
Well, I can get it for you real quick.
Oh, that'd be nice. While that's going on, I have the ratings for the other shows, and I have more detailed stuff. So we'll start with SmackDown. Actually, we'll start with NXT from last week. NXT on January 9th drew a 722 and got a .21 in the demo. AEW Dynamite from last week drew a 797 and got a .29. Friday Night SmackDown got a point, or not a point, but a 2.385 and drew a .64.
Interesting. NXT did not come out today. That's so interesting. I don't know why, but okay.
It's crazy. Rampage. We're going to do Rampage stuff. Rampage drew a 396 and had a .12. Collision drew 400,000 and got a .10. And Raw from Monday drew a 1.419 and got a .45. So those are your ratings, peeps. Alright, let me click off of this shit and get to the news. Alright, so Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe was with Mark Raimondi of ESPN and commented on DJ Wu's comments about the incident from All In. He said there was a little bit of an incident. We got it broken up. When we went out there and wrestled, man, that's the gist of it. Everybody wants it to be a lot more than what it was, but that's what it was, and to speak any more on it would be pointless unless you're trying to get a scorecard and stuff. But trust me, it wasn't that type of fight. Ramondi then asked if it was not that big of a deal, and Joe stated that it was not, at least from his perspective. He noted that he had seen similar situations before. Not to me, I've seen fights break out, stuff happens, but then again, that's me. I've been in these situations, I've seen that. I find it funny when people are like, oh, Joe's cool with it. I mean, nah, man, it was a high-stress situation. Sure, but I mean, it's one I've seen happen many times. We get it squashed out, we had a show to do, we had 81,035 fans waiting out there, and that was my focus, because that's what it was about at the moment. We're about to go out and have the best night of our lives. And Joe explained that there was something to be done, and everyone got focused. Hey, listen, we all understood that there was something to be done. There was a mission ahead of us, and everybody just got focused. And hey, if I was part of that, cool. But my intention was to get out there and get this show on the road. So those are Joe's comments about All In. Which doesn't shock me because Joe's been around for a while. I'm pretty sure, I even said it like in a tweet, Joe's seen a lot worse. He's probably seen worser fights than what he saw then. And for him to just see that just goes, like whatever, it happened. Like why still continue to harp on it? It happened a long time ago. We've moved on. I've moved on. Punk moved on. Jack Perry moved on. But what'd you think about Joe's comments?
I have no thoughts. Nothing was said there that was new information. That being, there's really nothing to comment on. I mean, this happened back in August, so I mean, unless something new comes out, like, oh my god, surveillance footage, and then we see the fight, and this and the other, it's like, we're past that now. So,
I guess because I kind of brought it up. So Jack Perry returned at an NJPW show and came out wearing an armband saying scapegoat, and then quote unquote tore up his AEW contract. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts on this are.
Storylines, I'm fine with it. I mean, don't really care, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay that they're gonna use this as a storyline, which as they should.
Yeah, I'm just gonna agree with you on that, and then Ruben, we no care. Yeah, exactly. I don't think really anyone cares. Right. What do we do next? Lexus King was with Chris Van Fleet, and was asked about the name change and if there was any possibility of seeing him in WWE as Brian Pillman Jr. rather than Lexus King. He says, I don't want to get into any details, but like when I first got there, like everything was just Brian Pillman Jr., yada, yada, yada. Then I had some talks. They gave me the whole, we can't keep your name kind of talk, and I thought, well, I don't want to make it seem like that's a bad thing. King admitted that he was open to having a different name in WWE as he felt like he had been walking around with someone else's name. Honestly, I've always sort of fantasized about having my own wrestler name. My whole career I've had this name. My whole life I've had someone else's name. I've been walking around for 30 years with someone else's name. Brian Pillman is the name that my father made. He made that name on his own. There's not much else I can add to it. So, basically just telling us why he isn't Brian Pillman Jr., which it makes sense. I mean, I guess it makes sense for him.
Not a kayfabe, though, I think, too. So
probably. But it makes sense, because he wants to be his own man, and, it'd just be weird if you're just Junior. So, but like you said, it might be a kayfabe thing, too, because in storyline fashion, he doesn't want to be Brian Pillman Jr. because he didn't know his dad. He'd, rather be his own man. But what'd you think about his comments there?
Yeah, just kind of like I say, just maybe like a kayfabe thing, too. Half kayfabe, half telling the truth, so. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do.
He also talked about his facial hair. He brought up his facial hair that Carmelo Hayes gave him the number for his barber, and he just trimmed his facial hair, and he just looked at him and went, "Oh, that's gonna get heat." So, but
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Andrade. Details on Andrade leaving AEW. Sean Ross Sapp reports that Andre El Idolo has an agreement with WWE regarding his AEW exit. Sapp writes that his original idea was for 2 years, but it was expended due to injury. Sapp cites AEW talent who noted that Andrade was open about how his deal was coming up. Some talent stated that he has indicated plans to stay with AEW, but by the end of his run, he told others he was returning to WWE. The reports also note that several in AEW thought he would appear on WWE programming the week following his departure, though Tony Khan said he would be open to Andrade returning. Sources that worked near Andrade said that it was a frustrating process and made it clear that he will be finishing up. Additionally, Sapp writes that Charlotte Flair pushed for an Andrade return to WWE. While WWE sources have not officially confirmed that is happening, others said that he was likely coming back. Zelina, I think, either commented or requoted a picture of Andrade, and then put the emoji for sandglass or sand in an hourglass. So, more than likely, he's coming back. Once he comes back, like, what do you see WWE doing with him? Like, what does he do? What's like his first big feud?
Hopefully, putting him back with Zelina and maybe be a part of the LWO for a little bit before he breaks away and turns heel with Zelina. So I could see something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too, because him and Zelina worked so well together in NXT. Like they were a perfect pair. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for too. John Cena talked about possibly retiring. He was speaking to Sean Newman for People. He says, I turned 47 this past year and I don't have much time left in WWE. I think it's just the demand of age. I'm trying to figure out when to close that chapter. He first began wrestling in 1998. I wouldn't be who I am professionally or personally. Without WWE, I promised myself that I would never simply just be there for my own sake. Every time I perform, I want to give my all to the audience. And I've got to admit, when I hit the 45 mark, I had to begin to try to form an exit strategy, and I'm trying to work on that currently. And he repeated his past comments about how he wants to do what's best for the company, whatever that may mean. He stated that he would be willing to listen to whatever WWE had to say about how to let everyone know this chapter was over. And he also talked about maybe wanting to be a mentor or coach. He noted that he often visits the Performance Center, as he often has plenty of wisdom to give, and also wants to leave WWE with his head held high. But thoughts on Cena's on his comments, maybe even wanting to be a mentor or a coach for the Performance Center, anything.
I mean, that'll be a perfect role for him. I mean, he knows more about this business than anyone else, so, I mean, he's not lying that he needs an exit strategy, so.
Yeah, Cena doesn't need wrestling anymore. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, it's good to see John. I mean, for a while, we were hoping to not see John, but now that John isn't here as often as he could be, when he comes back, it's always fun to see John. Like I was saying, when I was at SmackDown that one night and he came out, like, he got like a god level reaction. Because people still love Cena. Kind of a cool story, and I haven't told anyone this. So, my nephew has cerebral palsy, and he really loves John Cena. Like, John Cena is like his superhero, pretty much. And when they were at SmackDown that night, him and his mom and his brothers were sitting at the rail, or they were sitting in the section that had like a rail or whatever. And as soon as Cena's music hit, not even like the full thing, but like that done theme, like as soon as he hears it, you just see like him lean over and kind of grab the rail, because Cena was coming out. Like, Cena's a superhero to kids. So, I mean, he does all the Make-A-Wish stuff, and, he is still the celebrity with the most Make-A-Wish requests. to this day. So he means a lot to WWE. Doesn't need to wrestle anymore. Again, kind of like how he just said, I think he would be perfect as a coach or a mentor of some sort in WWE. Like, he doesn't even have to be physically there. Like, he can just have someone talk to him like via Zoom and just like talk to him for advice. I'm pretty sure he would give it. And Lexus King, going back to him, like I saw something where he put that Cena, does show up to the performance center and like gives advice. Like, he'll just talk straight about wrestling and give the best advice he can. So, like you said, Cena knows more about this business than most people, and his body can't give WWE what they want, but his mind can. So, that's pretty much all I have on that topic. Last bit of news: Keith Lee has to undergo double surgeries. Keith Lee delivered some unfortunate news on Wednesday, revealing that he is scheduled to undergo not one but 2 surgeries. The AEW star had initially been set to face Swerve Strickland last month at World's End, but the match was canceled due to Lee not being medically cleared. In a tweet last month, Lee mentioned that he had been dealing with an injury since September 2022. The exact nature of his injuries remain unclear. Lee shared on a private account via Haas of Wrestling that he will be undergoing 2 surgeries. He wrote, "Took roughly 19 years. Guess it's my turn. Time to get fixed. Here's the double surgeries. Certainly one way to start 2024." But, yes, I mean, it sucks for Lee. It's still dealing with health shit. It really does suck. I feel sorry for the guy, but hey, if he can get fixed, that'd be awesome. But what do you
Apparently, I don't know how true this is 100%. Apparently, it is throat and heart surgery.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what I'm hearing on social media. So.
Oh man, that's gonna be rough.
I don't know how true that is, but it's not confirmed. But yeah.
So that's all the news I have. I have one thing I want to say for the end of the night, but what do you have?
Alrighty. Well, first things first, Roman Reigns news from Dave Meltzer. Roman Reigns is not on the Australia show for Elimination Chamber. He's not on the Paris show for Backlash either, by the way, for the fans over there. He's going to be wrestling at the Royal Rumble, and then his next big match. He could do a TV match, but he's going to wrestle at the Royal Rumble, and his next match is going to be his WrestleMania match. And after that, we presume it is going to be Saudi and SummerSlam. That's coming from Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Just to comment on that real quick. Last year, he wasn't advertised for Elimination Chamber either. He wasn't advertised for, a lot of pay-per-view matches last year they ended up showing at anyway. So that doesn't mean anything. So not to say that, what's being said here is inaccurate or false, but this has happened before where Roman wasn't advertised for a match, for Elimination Chamber. He wasn't advertised last year, then he ended up having Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. So the point I'm trying to get to is that Roman Reigns versus The Rock can still possibly happen at Elimination Chamber at this particular point in time. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But what'd you think about that?
Let me kind of counteract what you just said. So there's a tweet I saw from somebody that I can't really remember the name of, that he kind of pointed out that there's a possibility that The Rock and Roman might not even happen, at Elimination Chamber, or not even Mania. It could possibly happen at SummerSlam. Like, we haven't even thought about that. But I think all in all, it's going to happen at Elimination Chamber because it's a huge show in Australia. Like you mentioned before, it has like a WrestleMania audience. They've already sold out. And Australia wants The Rock. So that's kind of going to be it. At the Rumble, because next week we're doing predictions. If the championship match main events, you already know how it's going to end. It's The Rock's going to come out and challenge him, or The Rock's going to come out and like do a stare off, kind of like last year, where Roman and Kevin Owens was the main event, and you knew something was going to happen, and then Sammy turned on Roman.
Right.
Like, yeah, the championship match main events, then you know something big's going to happen. So, like you said, you know, Roman wasn't advertised for most of those shows, and he showed up. So, yeah, he's going to show up. So I don't really take too much stock into what a lot of these journalists tell you. But, I do think the Roman and Rock is going to happen at Elimination Chamber, because it's not going to happen at Mania, people. Just live with it.
Alrighty. Next here, you had, we were talking about TNA earlier. Will Ospreay showed up at TNA for their tapings, and also, as well, Kazuchika Okada.
Nice.
Kazuchika Okada returned to TNA after many years at this past weekend's tapings. Was a healing moment after he'd been treated so poorly by previous management. So, pretty cool. Not really, I mean, it's not really like much to comment on or anything like that, but it is a cool little tidbit, because, you know, if you remember him in TNA the first time, he was being treated like the fucking Green Hornet. You know, which was a silly gimmick, and now he can come back as himself as the Rainmaker, which is pretty cool. It's a full circle moment, and it's cool that TNA and New Japan are on seems to be good terms again. You have the ABC, who is Bullet Club. They are the Bullet Club. Austin Bay Club, as they call it. So it seems like TNA, Impact, whatever you want to call them, in New Japan are still in a good working relationship with each other, which is pretty good.
Nice.
Anything to comment on that?
I mean, it's good. It's good news. I mean, you have better management now than you did before, bro. Yeah, good news. That's all I can say. It's good news when you have, you know, big stars like that in your company.
Yeah. And last but not least here, I mean, this is not really news, but it's kind of news. Not really, because we already know already. Coming from PW Insider, we are already told Trinity has several more dates with the promotion TNA, and did not finish up as of yet at this past weekend's tapings, where she wrestled Jordan Grace. So apparently, Trinity, you know, still wrestling for TNA temporarily, before she comes back to the WWE. So not really news, but just a little tidbit note there. So, but that's all I have.
Nice. Kind of wanted to end the show with this. Thought that was kind of interesting. You might get a kick out of it. So I found a site that tells you each day in wrestling history. I actually found two. There was one that was more like detailed, where it was like in 1952. It's like, oh boy. This one kind of just goes back to the early 90s. So on this day, January 17th, Big Van Vader defeated Tatsumi Fujinami for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at NJPW New Year Dash at Tokyo. So, in 1992, the Mountie defeated Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWF Intercontinental Championship at a house show in Springfield, Massachusetts, just 48 hours before their scheduled title match at the Rumble.
That's pretty cool. Bret Hart was actually sick. He was sick, and that's why he had to give up the title.
Nice. In 1994, the Quebecers defeated the 1-2-3 Kid and Marty Jannetty to win back their WWF Tag Team titles at a WWF house event in Madison Square Garden. 1999, Goldberg defeated Scott Hall in a ladder stun gun match in the main event of WCW Sold Out.
Christ.
2000.
That was off the heels of Starrcade '98 with Scott Hall stunning Goldberg with the stun gun for Kevin Nash to pin with the powerbomb and 10 his undefeated streak.
Mm-hmm. In 2000, following his WCW heavyweight championship win before walking out of the company. The night before, at the sold-out pay-per-view, Chris Benoit was stripped of his newly won title. And then Tess also defeated the Big Boss Man for the WWF Hardcore title on Raw in New Haven, Connecticut.
Right.
2009, because I guess there wasn't much happening between those times. 2009, Tyler Black, better known these days as Seth Rollins, defeated Nigel McGuinness in the main event of Ring of Honor Full Circle in Manassas, Virginia.
20. Well, that was a while ago.
2010. Monty says he can't hear us. Might want to change the audio settings, Monty. Can you guys hear us? Are we coming through okay? But Kyle's saying yes.
Well,
Ruben saying
someone relayed the message to Monty. Let him know that y'all can hear us, but you know.
Sorry, Monty.
Probably need to do some with his audio setting, something like that. Yeah.
Or maybe Monty is Monty even in the voice chat? Oh yeah, he is. I don't know, Monty. I'm not sure to tell you. Might need to log out. 2010, Hernandez and Matt Morgan defeated the British Invasion, Brutus Magnus, and Doug Williams for the TNA World Tag Team Championships at Genesis in Orlando. 2016, Iron Mike Sharp passes away at the age of 64.
Iron Mike Sharp.
And that's all we got for this list in particular.
All right.
There was one that was a lot more detailed, but I doubt you want to go. But let me add this to my bookmarks. So that was fun. But that's the show, peeps. I want to thank everyone for showing up. RJ, Ruben, Maurice, Scott, Kyle, and Monty. Monty, if you can hear me. And this Saturday, the 20th, is the Q&A show, the first Q&A show of the whole year. So if you haven't already, put in some questions. If you have already, add some more questions. But it's this Saturday, and I want to see some questions. I want to see some fun questions, peeps. And then, of course, next week, next Saturday is the Royal Rumble. And, of course, next Wednesday, we'll be doing our Rumble predictions. So it should be a fun show. But yeah, just much love to everybody who supports the show and shares, quotes, subscribes, everything. Much love to everybody. Wrestling Soup, John Draper, RJ, of course, our boys, Ruben, Monty, Jeff Lippman, and just Trez, everybody else that supports the show. Shout out to you guys. Love you all. And the Patreon, we have a Patreon, peeps. It's only $5 a month. And you get pretty cool shows with me and Ruben called Culture Attack, which you just did one yesterday. Or, not yesterday, Monday. And just waiting on the audio file from Ruben so I can upload it. And then I do a show with RJ, Revenge of the Savage Nerds. I need to talk to him afterwards to kind of see when we're going to do another show of that. And then Jeff Lippman, Garden of Droom. Ruben says it's coming tonight, so look forward to that, peeps. Garden of Droom with Jeff Lippman, which we do that really monthly because Jeff is a busy boy. RJ says it's coming. Oh boy. Coming soon. Coming soon to a theater near you. And yeah, just $5 a month, people. You won't be disappointed. And you can find me in the show pretty much everywhere that podcasts are distributed. But Jeff has 5 million shows. Yes, he does. Justin, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram. SpinebusterTees on Instagram. SpinebusterTees.com. Check out our gallery of design wrestling t-shirts. Also have a whatnot page on my Instagram as well if you're into collecting action figures from WWE, AEW. So yeah, got that available on Spinebuster Tees, SpinebusterTees.com. Also, like I mentioned, a array of t-shirt designs for you guys to enjoy. So definitely check that out.
Nice. Spinebuster Tees, peeps. If you're in the San Antonio area, if you're making a trip to San Antonio, come to Wonderland Mall of America and visit Spinebuster Tees. My boy has you covered. If you like Funko Pops, if you like action figures, if you like shirts, if you like socks, if you like hats, if you like beanies, he's got everything you need. And also, like Maurice said, stay warm. And if you can't make the trip, he's got a website. And he's also got a, what would you call it, WhatsApp?
Whatnot?
Whatnot, there you go, I'm sorry.
WhatsApp?
I got him confused, okay?
Oh my god, man. We're not doing no dirty no dirty sex shit on WhatsApp.
Hey.
That's what it's used for.
Oh, is it? I didn't know. I thought it was just like another like messaging app.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people use it for like fucking like sexual favors. It's fucking disgusting.
Oh boy. Like, do you know anything about that, RJ? Nothing. But yeah, Spinebuster Tees, peeps. If you're a wrestling fan, you won't be disappointed. But we are done for tonight, and we will see you this Saturday. Of course you do, RJ. We will see you this Saturday for the Q&A, same time, same channel. And like I said, if you haven't already, or even if you have, send in your questions and make it fun. So we are done for the night, and see you this Saturday, peeps. Peace out.
Peace.